I don't see video.
It's recording. It's live. I just turned off the videos.
Oh, okay. I'm not used to not being able to see myself. All right. All right, well, good evening, Lago Vista. Mayor Ed Tidwell here. And tonight we are having a kind of a press conference, press release, just to let everybody in the Jonestown, Lago Vista, Point Venture, Northwest Travis County area, Lago Vista Independent School District region, just let everybody know where we stand as a community, what we know as far as the coronavirus, and how everything is affecting our community. As you know, this seems to be an extremely fluid outbreak of a new disease, the coronavirus, the COVID-19, I guess is what they have called it. And the weirdest thing about it is that it's so much of the unknown. Every day we keep thinking in the United States, the world keeps thinking that they're going to get a handle on it, but the numbers just seem to keep changing. And so we've got guidelines in place, but the unknown is still out there. So we're having to be very proactive and very conservative and cautious on the way we do things. And as an example, right now, the Austin Travis County Health Department and our county judge has set out a disaster declaration that has us at restricting people to community events of 250 people or more. So anything over that, they have declared that to be canceled. And the CDC has it set at groups of 50 people or more. And if you saw TV today, the president is recommending 10. I am certain that Travis County Judge Sarah Eckhart will amend our county declaration to at least the 50-person gathering, and we'll see if the CDC and county follows with the recommended 10-person gathering that the president has talked about. And along with the declaration that Judge Eckhart has put out, Austin Travis County is still currently in phase 3 of the health department's 5-phase plan. Phase 1 is where there's persons that are being monitored. Phase 2 is people that are under investigation. Phase 3 is confirmed cases. So right now we have 2 confirmed cases in Travis County with an additional 4 more under investigation and are presumed confirmed, but that hasn't been confirmed just yet. From there, if it rises, we would go next to phase 4, which is limited person-to-person spread, and that's what they consider household spread. Family and friends within the same household or tight-knit group. From there, it goes to phase 5, and that is where we have community person-to-person spread, and that's where people are then starting to catch it from the stranger in line at HEB. But we're not to those levels yet. We're still at level 3, phase 3, which is 2 confirmed cases with 4 more pending and presumed. So we're working on those guidelines at this moment. But like I say, it's very fluid and could be changing. So we will let you know as soon as possible whenever we know more information. And so joining me tonight, I have our Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator, Greg Johnson, on my far left, Chief Bill Wallace, the Assistant Chief for ESD1. I have Darren Webb, the Lago Vista Independent School District Superintendent. I have Mayor Paul Johnson on my right from Jonestown. And I have Kathy Petros representing the Lago Vista POA Each one of them will be addressing you tonight with the news from their organizations. I did invite Mayor Love from Point Venture, but he's out of town and was unable to attend. But if I find out any news from Point Venture, I'll be including that as well in any future presentations. So at this point, I am going to go down my list of things here in Lago Vista and let y'all know what is going on as far as city offices and city events. I'm going to start with council meetings, committee meetings. We will be, until further notice, we will be suspending all of our committee meetings. We have gone through our agendas. We do not see anything that is currently pressing and time important right now, so we will be suspending all of our committee meetings. Our council meetings, for the one coming up this Thursday, we have an agenda that's already out and posted, so we are going to hold this meeting, but we are only going to address the items that are time sensitive or absolutely have to be taken under consideration at this time. And then we will be making decisions on further council meetings at that meeting on Thursday. So you're looking at, when we get into April, we'll decide how we're going to have our council meetings. Because the thinking is we could have our council meetings, but we would be lacking in the audience participation. And I don't think that is fair to the community to try and hold council meetings without the proper representation from this community. So that is where we are at as far as council and committee meetings. Going into public works, currently we're not looking at any changes to the Green Center. It is open on the last Thursday and the first Saturday of the month. Looking at the way it operates, we do not see a need to change the way it operates at this time. We have one staff member that will be working at the Green Center, and we do not expect 10 or more people to gather at that area. Something that, and this is more for your builders and developers out there, anybody that's trying to have a house built, are the parts for our meters tend to come from China. Imagine that. We have no meters. So all of our houses that are being built right now, we cannot install meters. So our meter hookups are going to start falling behind. Out here, we're already behind a little bit, but they're going to start falling way behind, and we may get 2 or 3 months behind on our meter hookups. So just so anybody knows out there, expect lots of delays in getting meters, and this will hinder our home building moving forward at this point. That's it for public works. Going into our golf course, right now we are not changing any operations at the golf course because it is not a confined area, and we don't see anybody really gathering in groups of 10 or more. We have decided to continue with the operations at this time. We are taking extra precautions to make sure any publicly used carts are completely disinfected, and any public utilities like the restrooms and stuff are getting extra hygiene for those people choosing to come out and play golf. Baker's Barbecue, that runs the restaurant, has not made a decision on whether they will stay open or not, but we will let you know if they choose to close the restaurant at the golf course. But again, golf operations are going to continue for the foreseeable future. Again, remember, all this is fluid and could change in the next couple of days depending on what comes down from the county. Parks and Recreation. Our Little League that is going on right now, Little League Baseball, has decided to postpone all of their games and practices. Looking at the fields and the games and stuff, between two baseball teams and the fans in the stadiums, we know there's going to be more than 50 people at any one baseball game. And with teams warming up for the next game, there's no telling. You could get 150 or 200 people together at a baseball game. So the Little Leagues have decided to suspend their games and practices. Our swimming pool, which is not open, will remain closed until we know it is safe to open. Pools was one of the things that was on the list of highly recommended to close. But since ours isn't open, we'll just keep it closed. And hopefully, before the summer is over, we can actually open the swimming pool. But right now, we do not know. Let's see. As far as services inside City Hall, all of our permits, applications, and utility, all of that is going to continue as is at this moment. We do have the online capabilities for certain things, for our applications and permits and utility billing and stuff like that. We are encouraging people to take advantage of the online opportunities, but there will still be staff and everybody here in case you need to come in and handle your business. The only thing that's really going to change as far as in-house right now is going to be our building inspections. Again, with our development services and stuff, with John Goebel, who does our building inspections, he's having to go out and meet with different crews and stuff at times. And we believe that this might put him in a position where he's bringing people together. So our inspections may change operations just a little bit, but we haven't quite determined how. And for the most of the general public, it doesn't affect y'all, but just so you're aware, our home inspections process may be changing just a little bit. The library. As of our 2:30 staff meeting today, the library was going to be canceling all events and activities as far as the kids' reading programs and the events they have in the evenings. However, they were not going to be closing the library. They were still going to leave it open for the patrons that wanted to come in and use the computer and use the Wi-Fi and check out books. They were fairly certain that there's rarely, if ever, 10 or more people in the library at any one time. They have taken precautions to make sure everything is disinfected and clean, and the library is going to remain open. They just will not be hosting any events and activities. Court, our March 24th court has been canceled, so if you have a ticket pending, you're safe until April. We don't know about April meetings yet. We will be discussing that with our judge and staff to see how that goes. More than likely, I would say it'll probably be postponed as well, just based on, I think we definitely have more than 10 people in the court at one time, and maybe as many as 50, I'm not sure. Our events, Lago Fest and Trash Off. We have not officially called them off yet, but it is my opinion that within this next few days, you will see us counseling those events. The Trash Off, yes, most people are in their vehicles. They drive up, staff unloads them, and they never get out of their vehicle. And the danger of spreading anything is not that high. However, because of the people self-quarantining, is that a word? Themselves, I have a feeling there will be a lot of people in the community that won't take advantage of the Trash Off when held. And I think that would be a disservice to the people in the community. So I am recommending postponing it until a later date so that hopefully 100% of the people who want to use the trash off can, and they're not afraid to come out of their house and be around people. But again, it has, as yet, has not been officially called off. Lago Fest, we're still holding out. It's in the middle of May. Everything kind of goes to about the 1st of May right now. So we've got about a 2-week window to hold on and see whether we need to cancel Lago Fest or not. Personally, I do not see us going from restrictions of groups of 50 or even 250 or more up to the level, I don't know if it's 2,500 or 5,000. I don't know how many we have at any one time at Lago Fest, but I think the numbers are going to have to be 5,000 or more before we're able to host Lago Fest. Again, it has not officially been called off, but I would expect that it would be. Police department. Your police department will not change. They're fully staffed, fully operational, and they will continue to operate at full capacity. That is about all the information I have as far as the city. I would like to share some things that I do know from the community. There are a couple of restaurants. I know the Gnarly Gar down in Point Venture is setting up for delivery to go orders. I believe I read that Azul Cantina is going to be setting up so that they can fulfill to-go orders, and I would be expecting some of the other restaurants to follow suit. We already know you can get pizza. Who else delivers? You've got pronto delivery service too that I'm sure we'll have no problem going around picking up a food order for you and deliver. I have looked into, I've contacted the churches and stuff just to see what's out there in case we do get to a position where people are quarantined and stuff. And they have been very responsive in telling me what they are getting set up. Right now, there is not a major need for anything, but the churches are getting prepared. There is on Facebook, and I'm going to, because I don't have it in front of me, I'm going to mess up the name of it, but it is the Lago Vista Coronavirus. Hello? Has anybody been on it yet? Anyway, the Lago Vista Coronavirus Community Help page. I'm sorry, Rhonda, for forgetting the name of your page. But if you can Google Lago Vista Coronavirus, there is a page that has been set up just to provide information to everybody on what the community volunteer have available to anybody in need. So if you have any questions, you have any needs, as far as where to get food or something like that, you should be able to go to that Facebook page and get that information, especially as more information comes in. It just got started yesterday, so there won't be a whole lot of information yet, but it will become more filled. And okay, yeah.
That's the exact name. It's Lago Vista Coronavirus Community Health Page.
There we go. Lago Vista Coronavirus Community Help Page. Thank you very much. For those of you out there in the community that have small businesses, I would like to direct y'all to the website, www.sba, that's Sam Bravo Alpha.gov, sba.gov. There is disaster assistance, and there you can find the Small Business Association Economic Injury Declaration. They have an information sheet and a worksheet for businesses, and this is to help you all. Now that the federal government and state government has declared everything as a disaster area, they have things available for economic injury to small businesses. So if you have a small business, again, please check out sba.gov for that information. All right. And I think I have gone through everything that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and start down here on the end with Greg Johnston, the Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator, and we'll go down the line and I'll let everybody else address you from their perspective.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor. The Travis County ESD1 has a division of emergency management that assists the cities of Lago Vista, Jonestown, and Point Venture. In that role, our job is to help manage crisis for the cities, and we do that through venues like this. And thank you again, Mr. Mayor, for putting this together. So we will be working with the mayors and a lot of the different agencies within the cities to help with crises. The Fire Marshal's office is also a part of that emergency management umbrella, and Jacob Couch is the Fire Marshal for the cities of Lago Vista and Jonestown. A few things I'd like to go over with everybody is in times of crisis like this, reach out to your neighbors for help. We're all in this together. We've seen big lines at stores and empty shelves, but your neighbors are there to help you and help each other. If I need a roll of toilet paper, I'm gonna go talk to my neighbor. They probably have 10 rolls, and maybe they can give me I can give them a can of soup. So please talk to your neighbors. You don't have to talk to them face to face if you're concerned. Call them on the phone. Let's all help each other. Just some things that are happening in the area. You've heard a lot about testing and how it's very difficult to get testing. There are online right now, there are private testing companies that are getting tests out. Scott and White Hospital chain, I understand, can get testing done through your doctor's direction. So do know that we're getting a lot of information about a lot more testing being available. For you businesses, encourage your business continuity of operations. Know that your employees are gonna become sick. They can get sick with type A flu. That's still going around. We don't talk much about that. And with the coronavirus too, there's more chance that your employees are gonna be sick. So think about how you're gonna cover your operations and how you're gonna cover your employees, sick policies and the like. Big reminder, wash your hands often. You don't have to have antiseptic soap. Good old soap bars do just as well. 20 seconds, scrub your hands vigorously. My aunt worked for the TSA and she reminded me of getting your fingernails. So get your fingernails in there in your palms and work it really vigorously. Social distancing, you'll notice in the crowd we're really spread out, and that's great. Thank you, everybody. Just be mindful of just staying a little bit far apart from your neighbors as you're walking through the town of Lago Vista, Jonestown, or Point Venture. And I'm not going to bore you with a lot of details. You hear it on the news, but I was on a meeting with the state DSHS at 4 o'clock. There's a daily meeting, and there's still only 2 confirmed cases, as the mayor was talking about, for Travis County. You'll hear a lot of people saying, well, there's this case, and I heard Joe down the street has gotten sick. Please check out the following websites: cdc.gov, check out the World Health Organization website, WHO, and also the Department of Health Services, which is dshs.texas.gov. Please reference those sites for good information. Also, Johns Hopkins has a really great graphic that shows kind of the spread of coronavirus throughout the world. So that's kind of a cool site to go to. And excuse me, I have to look at my notes here. That's it for me, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm going to add the directives and stuff that you see that we get from the Travis County Judge, Sarah Eckhart. Those are posted on austintexas.gov/COVID-19. So anything, if you're wondering where we're getting our direction, it comes from the county. And so you can find that information, austintexas.gov/COVID. And then as the mayor of this city, I'm allowed to be more restrictive, but I can't be less restrictive. So when you see it says groups of 250 or more, that is what we in Lago Vista have to go by unless we choose to make it more restrictive. And now Chief Wallace, and I do have to apologize. I called him Bill when I introduced him. It's Dave Wallace.
I've been
I know
called
two
worse.
Bill Wallaces, so it's just a Freudian slip. But do you have anything to add at this point?
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll speak just for a few moments as far as our emergency response in regard to this coronavirus. As the mayor alluded to, it's a very dynamic situation. It's always evolving. We're on conference calls or email chains multiple times a day with the county and the state as well. And we're trying to determine the best way to address the situation and at the same time protect our people. We do have policies in place that require our folks to wear protective clothing, to distance themselves initially from the patient until we can determine if it is a viable or a possible viable case of corona, and then they will don the necessary PPE, and then they will treat the patient. We're trying to limit the exposure of our employees to the patient as well. We're in the process of putting policies and procedures in place to address that. We're working with the county as well. The county, Travis County Emergency Operations Center is up and running, has been for several days. There's also a capital area medical operations center that is up and running and staffed as well. And they're constantly, reviewing the information and sending us updates. What I would recommend is if you have flu-like symptoms that are just beginning or considered mild, to contact your personal physician and try to address the issue over the phone if at all possible. There's also teledoc type programs out there where you can call in and talk to a doctor. What we don't want to happen is to overwhelm the EMS system for calls that can be handled remotely. Also, when someone does call 911, the MedCom, which answers those 911 calls, will actually screen the patient and determine what priority of an emergency it is. We have priorities 1 through 5. If it's a low priority, which it's kind of confusing, the lower the number, the higher the priority. Priority 1 and 2 automatically get an EMS response. Priority 3, 4, and 5, if they're able to determine through screening the patient or the caller that it's not an emergency, then they will attempt to direct them over the phone how to get the care that they need. I'm not sure that's up and running just yet, but probably within the next year or two, they'll have that in place as well. So we're trying to do all we can to respond to the emergencies as needed, but also certainly our primary concern is to protect our people and make sure that they don't contract the virus. If there is a presumptive positive, it's what they call it before it's confirmed, then we do have a mechanism in place to quarantine our folks. And then I won't get into all the medical stuff, but right now the quarantine is they're recommending for 14 days. The incubation period on this virus is 2 to 14 days. That's a pretty large window. And somebody could actually if they go get tested after 2 days and they're negative, somewhere in that spectrum, they still could become positive. So if they don't test positive initially, then we've got mechanisms in place for them to self-diagnose by taking their temperatures every 12 hours, because the fever is what actually allows this virus to become contagious. Somebody could be positive and have a normal temperature and they're not contagious. Once that temperature reaches 100.4, then they become contagious. So if we suspect at all that there's been any type of exposure, then we're going to quarantine our folks until they can go get tested, which is typically going to be 48 hours, the low end of the incubation period. And if they don't test positive, then they will be tested each day, well, actually twice a day. And if that temperature gets up around the 100-degree mark, then we will put them into quarantine. We do have a remote fire station set aside for that that's currently not inhabited, so we've got a means to separate those that are possibly sick from the rest of the crews. I think that's about all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Thank you, sir. And now I'll bring up School Superintendent Darren Webb.
I'm Darren Webb, Superintendent Lago Vista ISD. I want to thank Mayor Tidwell for inviting me here tonight. As we all know, the COVID-19 situation is developing and rapidly changing situation for school districts across the state. As a school district, we've been communicating with Texas Education Agency, the Region 13 Education Service, Department of Health, and ESD1 on a daily basis. First, our number one priority is to protect our students, staff, and the stakeholders of this community. We have a great community here and certainly want to try to protect all the stakeholders. As of 5 o'clock today, LVISD has closed to prevent the risk of exposure. This closure will start Monday, March 23rd, and extend through Friday, April 3rd, unless conditions warrant an extension of this closure. Our district leadership team is currently working on a plan to help ensure students maintain the instructional continuity during this ever-changing situation. Parents will be sending out a brief survey to be able to get a better understanding of what type of access to technology devices and internet that you may have at your household. So this will better give us an idea of how we can develop the instruction. To support student nutrition during this time, we are currently working with our school nutrition service provider, Airmark, to develop a plan for a pickup school meal service during this time. We are working with Airmark and TDA to develop this plan, and more information will be given out later this week. Our custodial services that's provided by Airmark, they're in the process of doing a deep clean, cleaning all touch points at this time, and we'll also be cleaning all Suburbans and school buses during this week. We'll continue to provide updates to all of our stakeholders through the many different social media channels that we have at LVISD, and understand this is a very ever-changing situation. School districts have never been in this situation. So we are trying to develop plans, and just please understand, though, these plans could change as this virus continues to grow. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
I have a question. What about extracurricular activities?
As of right now, all extracurricular activities, practice, games, whatever it may be, whether it's band, contest, UIL, academics, or baseball practice, those have been postponed. All school games, state tournament has been postponed through, I think, April the 3rd. And at that point, UIL will reevaluate the situation. So.
All right. Thank you, sir. And next we have Mayor Paul Johnson from Jonestown.
Thank you, Mayor Tidwell. We appreciate you hosting this meeting tonight. And I think one thing the public needs to understand is all three of our communities are working in concert together. This is the first time I've ever seen that happen. I'm sure it's the first time you've ever seen it happen too. So we're all working together as a team.
Well, to this extent, but
Well, to this extent.
yeah,
We still have our
we
friendly
do
rivalries.
work together.
We
but-
do, we really do. Over in Jonestown, we've suspended all of our committee meetings. We've also placed the proper protocols in place for the safety of the public and the city employees. We've suspended all of our events at the park and the library. The library will stay open. Our court, too, will be delayed to April. Those that need to be notified to be there will be notified by mail or by phone. At this current time, we're still going to have our council meeting in April because it's in the middle of April. The other thing is our PD will function as always, just like Lago Vista's is. We've got a lot of information on our website, and we have all the appropriate information links that we got from the ESD is posted on there too, where anybody can go in there and look at the latest and greatest information, because like everybody said, it's changing hourly sometimes. There's one thing that the Lago people need to let them know about, and also the Jonestown people. Right now, we're not taking any registrations on renewals of your stickers. It's not because of the virus, it's because the county, the printer went out and the county has not furnished us with a printer yet. So I don't know when they're going to do it. We've been waiting almost a month now for it. So hopefully at some point in time, they'll get it to us. But right now, we will post it on our website once we get the printer, but right now we don't have one. So the closest place you can go is 620 in Anderson Mill, or you can mail it in, so you'll know where to go on that. And that's at the HEB store over at 620 in Anderson Mill. I think that pretty well does it for us. We've all been in close touch on conference calls with the ESD. One thing the public may not know, if I could go ahead and just tell them, last year, all of us mayors got together, and in the past, had been an emergency management coordinator over here, and one over there. We all agreed that the most logical and best place to be was with ESD, because whatever event happens, they're going to be the driver on it in most cases, whether it's a fire or a hazmat event or a wreck. So it's really worked out well. I salute you for your hard work that you've done. I mean, this has been a full-time job for you. So, Mayor Ed, appreciate you hosting this, and thank you.
Yes, thank you. And now we go to Kathy with the Lago Vista Property Owners Association.
The Lago Vista POA wants to protect our members and prevent the spread of this virus. We're following the CDC's recommended preventative protocol to limit congregations of 10 or more. So all POA facilities, including the fitness center, all meeting rooms, and KOX Clubhouse will be closed beginning tomorrow through March 31st. This date may be extended as necessary. You can please call our office to reschedule your group event, or if it needs to be completely canceled, to get a refund on your deposit. This Wednesday's board meeting is also canceled. The campground, fishing well, marina, and the parks will remain open for now. If this changes, you can check the website for updates, but we determined those places do not congregate with 10 people or more. The POA office will be working remotely, so the front door will be closed to walk-in traffic, but all of our association business can be conducted online or over the phone. Check the website for the particular item that you're looking for, and it directs you to the exact phone number and extension, which will be forwarded to their phones. If you get a voice message, please leave a voice message. They will be checking that. There's also an email, which works super fast. Emails are the best, and they will get back to you. There just may be a delay, but to keep everyone safe, that keeps the contact down in the office, which is also being scrubbed down and cleaned, disinfected. I want to say this action was not taken lightly. However, the management and board of directors feel that it's in the best interest of the association staff and all the members in the community, as we're all wanting the best for all of us. And I appreciate the mayor putting us together so we can all make sure we're all on the same page and getting all current information. So thanks for having me.
Sure.
Could I say, I know that you talked about the Facebook group. I know the local churches are working together also to help anyone who needs someone else to go pick up their groceries or their medicine. So if you're stuck at home, there's people that want to help you. Just call any of your local churches, and they will get someone in contact and go pick up your stuff for you if you need to stay home.
Yes, thank you. All right, so that covers the panel up here. I do have a few people in the audience. Is there any questions from the audience? Yes, sir.
Cat Metro and Arkansas Game Park.
I will have to research that. I have not received word from Cap Metro that they are ceasing operations. Nor have I received word from the county, so I will have to research that and get back to you. I will post that information either to the website or Facebook or somewhere out there. I'll make sure that information gets passed. Thank you, especially Cap Metro. That'll be good to know. Thank you. Anyone else? Catherine, is there anybody from Facebook asking anything? Okay. We should have known. All right. Well, at this point, I am going to end this conference. Just remember, you've heard from just about everybody in the area. So if you have questions, you can contact the City of Lago Vista, the City of Jonestown, School District for information on schools, POA for information on POA parks and facilities, and the ESD1 for any other emergency operations. If you have any questions, please feel free. Don't be afraid to call and ask. Oh, got one more from the audience.
I just want to say thank you all for all your leadership. It was very good review of everything that's going on, and I really appreciate all the efforts and all that you've put into this, so thank you.
Thank you. for
Very
the
welcome. And hopefully we will not be together again very soon, but if things change, you will see us all up here again to let you know what's going on. And again, thank you, and stay safe. Make sure you wash your hands, keep your distance, and good night, Lago Vista.